I mean, that kid has my heart. You don't think that you can love a child as if you birthed them, that you didn't birth. You know, and I would die for that kid. There's something about him.
I knew that he and I would have a very special link in our family. And that has proven very, very true. I love Lian.
I think there's just a special bond between them because Sherman's been through a lot too in his life. And he's had a lot of people tell him you can't do things, and he has done things. And for sure, a lot of people have told Lian he can't do things. He went from the list of you'll never find a home to everything that he's doing now.
All right, you want to go get some cookies? Oh, you're gonna tickle Monster my neck.
Oh goodness, it's a story. I had wanted to adopt for a really long time when my big kids were younger, and my husband just wasn't there yet, and it took us a few years to kind of get on the same page.
And Katie and I had discussed the possibility of adopting from Vietnam. We sat down and talked about it and ended up engaging an agency to get the process going. And right when we did that, Vietnam shut off adoptions, and it had everything to do with the Hague Convention, and countries had paused adoptions, and they were, organizing their rules and laws and how you adopt.
We are packed in here. We've got Tirza on Mom's lap,
back there,
Jake and Chloe, and the fan
which
taking
is
up
on top.
valuable real estate.
And I thought, okay, well, that's our answer. We're not adopting,
I was born with cerebral palsy, and actually I affiliated with a lot of those who had disabilities, polio, cerebral palsy, and many other things. But it was a miracle that I was able to marry somebody who didn't care about all of that. And that was 57 years ago. Through my life, I have had a very strong emotion and compassion for those who have disabilities. So when Lian came into our family picture, Chris and Katie went to China to pick him up. I was thrilled.
How are you feeling today? Can you tell me how you're doing?
I'm really scared.
I know. Me too.
And it ended up being a very contentious point in our marriage, because I thought, well, this was God saying no, and Katie said, but it's about adoption, right? It doesn't matter where. And I struggled with that, and I wrestled with, wait a minute, can I love a child who's not my own biologically? Can I afford this? And I could run down the whole list of things and reasons why, and excuses of why I didn't want to adopt. And it was painful because we were not aligned, and I wasn't looking at it from the perspective of why do you go and adopt.
We're here in Fuzhou. He's coming up by speed train, by bullet train today. And we meet him on the 33rd floor.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
our agency one day said, we have this list of children that the list was kind of called, what was it called? Unadoptable children, or children that they had a hard time finding homes for because they had more severe disabilities. And they said, would you look at this list? And the day that my agency said that to me, I kind of was like, that's scary. Like, I was scared.
So, I mean, I know in recent history with Down syndrome and probably CP that a lot of people were institutionalized.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
put away. What do you have to say about that?
Obviously, those who are institutionalized, it's not their fault. It's the fault of the culture or the institutions that put them in that category, not realizing their potential. Once you realize their potential, then your whole worldview changes. And the way you handle them, the way you look toward their future is completely different.
Sherman started off in a special needs, I guess you'd call it, school.
And I don't know why I was scared. I think just the reality of that there's children out there who need homes and people won't adopt them. And these kids will never have a mom, you know? And it really struck me, and it kind of taught me to, or caused me to self-examine, like, what am I really doing here in life? And I started like just scrolling through the list and thinking, oh, it took us so long to get to the point of adoption. Like, I don't think my husband's gonna say yes to this.
Why could I not accept adoption? Why could I not accept a child who's not my own biologically? Why do I feel like money is the issue, you know? And I kind of ran down that list of excuses, and I was met with silence. I didn't have an answer. I didn't have an excuse. And it was almost God's gentle way of saying, you can do this, and you have the heart to do this. You just need to be open to it. And I had to go to Katie and say, have something to tell you.
57 years. When did you first meet him, and what was it that attracted you to him? Besides the smile.
We met in Vancouver, British Columbia, at a Bible conference, but that whole story is kind of unique too.
And I was scrolling through all these little faces on the list, and I came upon his face, and he was looking at the camera as if to say, like, are you my mom? And I just, like, in that moment, just fell in love with him.
And she got to Lian's picture and his little bio, and I said, that's our son. And it wasn't even she had to prompt me. It wasn't hey, what do you think about this boy? Let me go think about it. It was just that immediate connection we both had with Lian on that screen.
Hi.
Mama.
Went to China, and the first time in China, they just kind of hand you the child. There's no transition with the child. Like, you don't visit and then go out and visit and get to know the child or anything.
It was really interesting. We didn't know how he was going to respond to either one of us, but he took a look at Katie, took a look at me, and he came to me, not to Katie first, which was really interesting. And I think all of my fears and all of the assumptions I had made and the unknowns of bringing a child into my life that I didn't know, right? That wasn't part of me biologically. All that vanished and melted away.
And I struggled off and on, including in my late teens, with even the idea of going into the Vietnam War and wanting to place myself in a position where my life might end. And obviously the Army wouldn't take me because of my condition. But later on, there was a man who came into my life that is still very special to me. And I sort of issued a complaint to him regarding what my struggles were. And he said to me, "Sherman, you can't do what God's designed you to do unless He made you the way you are."
Come back! Come back! Come back!
So he was 5 weeks old when he was put in one of those baby drop boxes, which they had built. They started building the drop boxes because a lot of children were left on the streets and they passed away. So they started building these little rooms where you could go in at night and put your baby in the little bassinet, and then when the door closed, an alarm would sound and the orphanage guard would come down and pick up the baby and bring them to the orphanage.
We had a lot of conversations with our 3 older children, where they, how'd they feel about this? And, the answer was, yeah, and they were, excited, but I think it was a challenge too at first. It was a challenge when he comes into our lives, and life is now different, right? We have a child who has special needs. We're starting over, really, right? He's almost 3 years old when he gets into our home, and the older 3, they're teenagers. They're kind of moving on with their life, and
it was a little wild in the beginning because, as a 15-year-old boy, having your parents go off to China and, go to pick up somebody completely new that you've never met before and that they're just going to suddenly be a part of your family and everything like that. It kind of was a little daunting, there's a lot of different thoughts running through your head, like, oh man, we're getting a new kid. I'm about to have another brother. That's exciting. But like, you also have kind of the thoughts of like, are your parents going to forget about you? Kind of the normal human thoughts about things like that.
I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I was young and didn't know much about adoption or Down syndrome, how it all worked. So it was a mixture of being super excited, but pretty nervous at the same time. But
growing up and having that realization that it's like, okay, I'm becoming an adult. He's a toddler, or he's very, very young, right? He needs that attention, that love, and everything. So that jealousy very quickly went away.
You are so silly. Okay. Lily. Okay, lay back. Hush, little baby. Don't think.
I'm an aircraft mechanic, so I've gotten to show him what I work on, and he's gotten to sit in one of the planes before. And me being the sister, I'm like, you're gonna be a mechanic when you grow up. So I'm always trying to show him little mechanic things, And...
All right, let's find bag number 1.
Wow.
That's a pretty cool one.
All right.
Bag 1.
Where's bag 1? This bag 1.
Growing up with my dad, growing up with someone who has special needs, right? And seeing him walk through life, seeing and hearing people make fun of him behind his back. He has cerebral palsy. He walks differently. He was in an explosion at the age of 3. He's got burns on his face, right? He doesn't look like what you'd maybe say a typical man looks like, right? And so I saw that as a kid. I saw people treating him differently because of the special abilities that he had.
Nice.
That's it. Wow.
It's played a role in his relationship with Lian. There's a level of understanding and empathy there that others might not have, right?
We'll have this big family meal, and there'll be like 4,000 pieces of silverware, right? And he'll hand each piece to Lian for Lian to put in the dishwasher. And they'll just stand and do that for 30 minutes.
There's a thing that so many people try to do, and that is I'll do it for you. Instead of waiting and allowing the person to struggle. Because like a butterfly, the cocoon that creates a butterfly, if you try and help the butterfly escape the cocoon, you will damage the butterfly. But if you let the butterfly struggle, it will eventually come out of the cocoon, the wings will dry, and it will fly. And we don't want to damage someone by doing things too much for them so they can't, may I say, learn to fly on their own.
We never would have known the people that we know, grown how we've grown, had our faith tested like this, seeing the answers to prayer that we've seen, seeing God provide how he's provided. It's like if you don't take that step into the scary unknown, you'll never see God move in your life.
Lian is very precious. You can't use all the challenges to put any negative on his life. He has extreme value.
Stay tuned, the next video is Grandpa Sherman's full story. Once it's uploaded, you'll be able to click right here on the screen to watch it. Before you go, just wanted to say we're currently short of our fundraising goal, so please consider a donation to keep this channel alive. Thank you to everyone who's donated. Seriously, this is possible because of you. Here's some comments that prove you're making an impact with your donation.